Moments, you know, in our lives, special things are happening. And the moments that are fascinating only last an instant. And if you just take one picture, you're probably not going to get it. So when you sense the possibility of one of these great moments, work the scene. This is one of the things I have to stress over and over and over. Don't ever show me one interesting shot. If you thought it was interesting enough to take one picture, I want to see 10. I want to see 20. I want to see you shoot till either you run out of memory on your card or the subject leaves. That's the only way you're going to get all the perspective you need to get the one shot that counts. So I'm sitting there on the beach playing with this Coolpix, trying to experiment, and I'm testing a motor drive feature because they're not known for motor drive, and I wanted to see if you could really do anything with it. And by working it over and over and over, suddenly this little girl does this cartwheel. And to me, it just put this whole youthful spin on an otherwise kind of just nice but average sunset. Here I am in Europe. You know, the streets in Europe, the street life that's going on around you is so exciting, and I wanted to try and get an image that showed some of that hustle bustle. So I kind of developed a little bond here with the accordion player and put some money in his hat and just hung there, you know, this close to him with my wide-angle lens and just stood there for 5 or 10 minutes while life came and went until I got something in my frame that I was really pleased with. This is a really fun shot for me. Again, I was experimenting with the slow shutter speed. I was in Barcelona visiting my son who was doing some schooling abroad, and he said, "Dad, tonight is this celebration," and the lady that I'm living with said, "Evan, it's going to be like a little war tonight, all night long, fireworks." And so I said, "Fireworks, I love fireworks." So I got my camera, put Cindy to bed, went back down to the beach. Because in Barcelona for this festival, there's like 100,000 people on the beach. And they were running around with these fireworks just like crazy, just magical stuff. These 3 kids were playing soccer on the beach. And the first thing that struck me about it was the asymmetry in their size. I mean, here's this little pipsqueak of a guy playing soccer with this huge mammoth of a fellow, and then another one that was just kind of in between. So I stood there trying to figure out how can I get this to work. Finally, I liked what this rope was doing down here. It provided a bright element and a little anchor in the corner amidst all this gray. And then I just shot and shot and shot. They thought I was nuts. At first, they saw me standing there, but I stayed so long that they forgot about me and just went on playing until I got that one shot that I really liked, the spontaneity of what's going on. And here's my monklet shot. Okay? Just that one moment when he looks up, and even though he's in this stern religious order training to be a monk, he's still got the same joy of a young child sharing humor with someone. I mean, it was just precious. Now, when I first saw this shot on the computer, my first impulse was, if only this guy hadn't been there, it would have been a great shot. But you know, the more I looked at this image, the more it sort of came to embody to me, here are these wonderful Tibetan people living under the oppressive influence of the Chinese. And I don't know that this person was Chinese, but it sort of had that stern authority figure to it, and it really made the photograph have sort of a special meaning for me. Well, this one is self-explanatory. You know, I had an idea that I didn't want to shoot the cliff divers in Mexico from the beach. That's where everybody shoots from. What does it look like to them when they jump off? So I went up to the cliff diver and said, he spoke halting English, but he understood that I wanted to climb up with him. So he kind of laughed and said, "Sure, you can come up with me." So I went up there and shot him as he dove, and yes, it's much more scary going down.